Ciao ragazzi everyone, I am back in business. So sorry that I couldn't open up the den last time round. I was stricken with quite a god-awful stomach bug over the weekend, which has brought me to an ugly standstill, which meant I couldn't even watch this week's selections live, well last week's selections live. Never mind, record an episode. Anyways, I'm back just about fit enough to let you guys back into the den. Yes, welcome back to the Euro Den. As you all know by now, this is the podcast that weaves through the thorny brambles of the Eurovision Song Contest. Coming up today in what can be described as a bumper episode, I'll be looking at who Bulgaria and Ukraine have chosen for Vienna. We also have a look at the results from the last 2 weeks of heats and semi-finals in Sweden, Latvia and Lithuania, and look ahead to a very busy week as Estonia, Denmark, Greece and Croatia get involved and select their entries this week. Are you sitting comfortably? Good, because there's a lot to cram in, so we'll begin. First to the two recent additions to the roster. A couple of weeks ago, Bulgaria held the second show of Nationalna Selekcja. That was the artist final, where 8 acts performed a previously released song, another one previously released song, a song different to the song that they performed in the first show. The jury and Bulgarian public scored them, and after all was said and done, these were the results. So bringing up the rear was Roxana with 17 points, and Iniglo with 18, Mulek and Prey both scored 21 points in total, Kana, Cosmonauts and Mona both scored 23, Michaela Marinova 26, and with a total of 30 points, Dara was chosen to represent Bulgaria and being Bulgaria's first representative in the Eurovision Song Contest for 4 years. Though it was very nearly over before the journey even started, as 2 days later, she announced that she did consider withdrawing from the contest. Chatting on BTV's morning show Tazi Sutrin, she said, and I quote, "My desire has been killed and crushed by negative comments. I will decide by the end of the day whether to participate." But later that afternoon, she confirmed that she still intends to participate, so panic over. She released statements on Instagram, which the full statement on Instagram, but it's all in Bulgarian. But in a nutshell, she said, and I quote, "No one deserves such a public lynching for doing their job and following their path. No one. That's why I made the decision. I will participate." So panic over. Dara will still be flying the flag for Bulgaria this May. With which song, though, that is what is yet to be determined. For that, we must wait until show 3 of Nationalna Selekcja, where Dara will perform 3 new songs, and the Bulgarian public and jury will score them to determine the song that goes forth to Austria. For now, here's her profile. Dara is one of the most well-known pop musicians in Bulgaria, and has also become a prominent figure in the modern Balkan music scene. She has shaped the image of contemporary Bulgarian pop with her unique voice, commanding stage presence, and unrestrained genre blending. In addition to having multiple number 1 hits on the official Bulgarian Airplay chart and having been included in New Music Friday streaming playlists across Europe, her songs and videos have thus far amassed over 80 million listens and views. Through partnerships with writers and producers from the USA, Canada, South Korea, Norway, Sweden, Great Britain and Romania, her global reach has been rapidly expanding. And Dara has collaborated with well-known talents such as Chris Young, who works with Rod Stewart, Kylie Minogue, Jungle Boy, Zayn, who works with Zayn and Rihanna, Yoad Nevo and Monroe. Dara has been pushing the boundaries of Balkan pop and is most known for her biggest smashes such as Thunder, which she performed in the Națională Selekcja Artist Final, Call Me and Mr. Rover, which dominated the charts for weeks, and has also been mentoring a new generation of musicians via The Voice of Bulgaria in 2021 and 22. Her most intimate project to date, the album Ad Dara, was released in 2025, and this project marked a transition from well-known pop artists in her home country to one with a distinct international identity and expanding a global presence. We wish Dara and Team Bulgaria all the best for the journey ahead, which will culminate with their first steps on the Eurovision stage since 2022 in the first half of semi-final 2 on Thursday the 14th of May. Dipping into our most recent addition to the roster now, as last Saturday, Ukraine elected their act for Eurovision via their trusted national selection, Vidbir. It all started with a collection of 392 submissions, with 451 song submissions between them, from which 15 acts made the long list, and 9 acts were chosen to compete in the final, with the other 6 going into an online wildcard vote for the 10 spots in the final. What we then got was a 10-song final to decide Ukraine's act. Before I share the results, I'll share the songs that are in the final and my ranking and community rankings. Because I was very unwell, I couldn't record the episode before Vidbir because I was in so much pain, which means these community rankings I'm going to share with you now are after the fight. Were the ones that came after the final from Saturday. So let me get it. Oh, here we go. Now we had Joey Hale with Catharticus, meaning prayer, Kayat with Hertzi, Loud with Lightkeeper, Lelica with Widnim, Molody with Legends, Monocate with Tut, Mr. Vel with Do or Done, Shuka Weiber with Moizemila, The Aliens with Crawling Whispers, and Valeria Force with Open Our Hearts. Now, Kayat won the wildcard vote to book his place in the final. Among the acts, we've had Joey Hale, who represented Ukraine in 2024 with Aliona, Monocate, formerly of Go Away, the 2021 contestants, and the Aliens lead singer Olena Usenko represented Ukraine in 2021's Junior Eurovision Song Contest in Paris. And on the subject of Junior Eurovision, we had guest performances during the show from Ukraine's last 3 Junior Eurovision representatives: Anastasia Demid, who came 5th in 2023, Artem Kotenko, who came 3rd in 2024, and Sofia Nesesyan, last year's runner-up, alongside Svetlana Tarabarova, who wrote all of their Junior Eurovision entries these past 3 years. We also had guest performances from last year's Ukrainian act Zifferblatt, 2013 act Zlata Ognjevich, who hosted Junior Eurovision that same year, 2023 reps Tvorchi, and 2016 Eurovision champion Jamala, who was the music producer for Vidbir. And also taking the stage was Satoshi, this year's Moldovan act. Owing to current circumstances due to the ongoing war that Ukraine is going through right now with Russia, all the performances were pre-recorded in advance as an undisclosed location, with the public vote occurring in real time. The results, though, were revealed live from an underground venue, and those results were determined by 50-50 ratio of the jury, the public vote, reviews votes casting by SMS by and Ukrainian government app Dia. Let me fire up those results for you. Got them here. So, now these are the votes. Now, I'm gonna hold on a second. There we are. Shuka Weiber came last with 4 points, scoring 3 from the jury and 1 from the public. Valeria Force was 9th with 6 points, 4 from jury, 4 and 2 from public. Molody was 8th, also with 6 points, 2 from jury, 1 and 4 from public. Then the Aliens also got 6 points, but they scored just 1 point from the jury and 5 points from the public. So they get 7th place. And 9, 8, 7th, that's right. Monocade scored 6 points from the jury, 3 from the public, 9 points in total. Kayat, 5 points jury, 7 points public, 12 points. Mr. Val, short of the podium in 4th, 7 from the jury, and 6 from the public for 13 points. Now, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place were all unanimous, with the jury and public giving the same scores. Jerry Hale scoring 8 points from both for 16 points. Loud got 9 points from both for 18 points, but scoring 10 points for both the jury and the public for a maximum score of 20 points. All was said and done, and it was decided that Lelika will be defending the Ukrainian colours this coming spring with Widnim. Who is she, though? I have her profile. Oh, actually, no. I should share my ranking first. So I had Loud in 10th, Shuka Weibo in 9th, Lelika was 8th, Kayaks was 7th, Molody was 6th, Jerry Hale was 5th, Valeria Force was 4th, Mr. Vel 3rd, Monica 2nd, and my 12 points went to the Aliens. But the community rankings had the top 5 as follows. Mr. Vel 5th, Molody 4th, Lelika was 3rd with the community ranking, 2nd was Monica, and 1st was Jerry Hale. But it is Lelika who will be representing Ukraine. Let me find the profile. Here she is. Lelika is a music project of Victoria Lelika, which the artist founded in Berlin back in 2016. The singer and songwriter graduated from the Karpenko-Kary Theatre University in Kiev and initially went on to work as an actress at the Molody Theatre in the Ukrainian capital. Lelika continued her education in music by obtaining a master's degree in composition in Dresden and at the Babelsberg Film University. Over the past 10 years, she had released 5 albums, many more songs, and created soundtracks for a popular series, and There Will Be People. Ukraine have always qualified for the semi-final to grand final every edition that they participated in. Let's see if Lelika can continue that streak in the second half of the semi-final 2 on Thursday, the 14th of May. Let's get all the latest from Latvia, Lithuania and Sweden as they continued their search for their Eurovision entries. Over the past 2 weeks, 2 semi-finals of Supernova have been taking place, as 24 acts were whittled down to 10 for this weekend's final. Let's run them down. Starting with semi-final 1, where the acts were Antra Stafeka, Tikasha Sakama, Elpo, Agnes, Emilia, Blurry, Ivo Oskis, Daba, Kotkali, Demantra, Honey Blue, and Ivo Grisilis. And in semi-final 2, the acts competing in that particular semi-final were Yanis Vugais, Paula, Edvards Shradins, Christine Magija, Nolark, Mix Garbanovskis, Legsdina, Papira Lidmasinas, Atvara, Chrissy, Vesniks, and Robert Ox. Those are the acts competing. Now for the results. The 5 qualifiers from semi-final 1 were Tikasha Sakama, Elpo, Tikasha Sakama with hashtag 010126 coda, Elpo with Blakers, Amelia with All We Ever Had, Kotkali with Seud Sagad, and Demantra with Let Them. And qualifying from semi-final 2 were Mix Galvanovskis with Cruel Angel, Legsdina with Wibben, Atvara with Enna, Chrissy with Take It, and Robert Ox with Waving at the Taj Mahal. Those 10 acts will compete in the Supernova final this Saturday at 8:10 p.m. Central European Time on LSM, where we'll find out who will represent Latvia at Eurovision 2026. We still don't know whether a wildcard will be awarded yet to one of the eliminated acts. That'll be at the broadcaster LSM's discretion. But I can share you my ranking of the finalists. So, in 10th place, I have Tikasha Sakama. Ninth place, Demantra. 8th, Robert Ox. Atvara 7th. Amelia 6th. And my top 5 are Chrissy in 5th. Mix in 4th. Kalskali in 3rd. Elpo in 2nd. And my number 1 was Legsdina. The community rankings top 5 are as follows. Get rid of the NQs. Kalskali is 5th with 8,926 points as of now. Tikasha Sakama, 9,388 in 4th. Elpo 3rd, 11,313. Roberts Ox, 11,797. And the top of the community ranking is Atsvara with 15,434 points. Those are the live community rankings on my Eurovision scoreboard for the Supernova finalists. In Lithuania, Heats 2 and 3 of Eurovision.lt took place, and here's how they went down. Starting with Heats 2, the 8 acts that took part there were Thea Leroy with Oblivion, Vilnius Voices with Gusim, Manulio Fazi with Daba Itia, Greta with Parade, Atikin with Daganti Zemile, Melania with The Offering, Dagna with Psalm Melujum, and Agni Buskovici with Unbound. The juries put Thea Leroy last. The juries put Thea Leroy last with 4. Manulio Faze with in 7th. Melania 6th. Then Agni Buskovici in 5th. Then 4th was Dagna. 3rd was Greta. Atakin was 2nd. And Vilnius Voices topped the jury votes. The public votes had the same top 2, just in a different order, with Atakin winning the public vote, Vilnius Voices in 2nd, then Agni in 3rd, Greta 4th, Dagna 5th, Melania 6th, Menulio 7th, and Thea Leroy in 8th. And the total points were, Thea Leroy was last, Menulio was 7th, Melania was 6th, Dagna was 5th, Agni was 4th, then 3rd was Greta, so that's a passage to the wildcard round. And then the 2 acts going through to the final were Vilnius Voices and Atakin. Then you had Heat 3, where the acts competing were Agata Way with Gravity Lies, Josas Martin with Atmak Akis, Juste Osh with Gaisras. Apologies for the mispronunciations. Yes, I'm dry on my Lithuanian. Sorry about this. Akira with Siluma. Lady Eyes with Mersikam Shvaziru. Owimas Papekis with Tsumano. Paula with Sako. And Black Biceps with Let's Be Cook. The jury votes from bottom up went like this. Lady Ice 8th, Agata Way 7th, Akira 6th, Olymus 5th, Josas Martin 4th, Justa 3rd, Black Biceps 2nd, and Paula in 1st. So those were the jury's points. It's the same top 2 in the public vote too, but with Black Biceps on number 1 and Paula in number 2. Olymus 3rd, Agata Way in 4th, Justa in 5th, Josas Martin 6th, Akira in 7th, and Lady Eyes with last place. Total points, Lady Eyes last, Akira 7th, Agata Way 6th, Jos Martin in 5th, 4th was Justa Orange. Going through to the wild card was Orimas Papekis, and going through to the final were Paul and Black Biceps. This week, it's Heat 4, as 8 more acts compete for 2 more places in the final, or failing that, a possible chance at the wildcard round. Here's who's competing. We've got Patricia Lusinka with Worth It, Celine Ice with Nasuno, Leon Checha with Solo Kiramas. Leon, of course, made the super final in last year's Eurovision.lt. Freya Ale with No Kiss Goodbye, Emmy Acidic with You Broke Me, More with Type Lengvai, Nora Blue with Hold My Own, and Shower with Contact. Now, Shower were the runners-up in the Eurovision.lt back in 2024, losing out to Sylvester Belt. So it's interesting to see how they'll fare this year, especially now there's no super final this year. Anyway, find out who makes it at 8 p.m. Central European Time this Saturday on LRT. And you can watch it on the website and on the LRT YouTube channel. Melfest had its first two heats in the Saab Arena in Linköping and in the Scandinavium in Gothenburg, as Sweden started their search for their next Eurovision entry. So the results, first of all, of Heat 1. Gretsula with Half of Me and 18s with Iconic were the two acts that went direct till finalen, straight through to the final. Jacqueline with her song Woman was given a ticket to Final Kvalet, meaning Indra Noltvor and Junior Lorin with Beautiful Lie, Roswell Ord and Copacabana Boy were out. In Heat 2, we had Heat 2 taking place last Saturday, where the acts taking part were Laila Adele with Oxygen, Brandster City Slackers with Wakt in I Elden, Robin Bengtsson, who represented Sweden back in 2017, he was back with Honey Honey, Felicia with My System. Now, Felicia was the singer that formerly performed under the alter ego of Flockensnusk. Clara Almschwam and with Da Helle Valden Vantar, and Arwen with Glitter. Those are the acts that competed in the heat. Now, I did rank the songs. Let me get my ranking. So my ranking of the second heat were Arwen in 6th, Clara Almschwam in 5th, Robin Benston in 4th, Layla Adele in 3rd, Brandster City Slackers 2nd, and Felicia in 1st. The fandom community rankings on my Eurovision scoreboard had Layla Adele in 6th, Brandster City Slackers 5th, Robin Benston 4th, Arwen 3rd, Clara Armstrong 2nd, and Felicia in 1st. So it was no surprise to see that Felicia won the heat and got through direct till finalen, with Brandster City Slackers also joining her in that final. Robin Benston will have another chance in Final Kvalet, but for Layla Adele, Clara Armstrong, and Arwen, it's game over. Heat 3 this week takes us to Kristianstad. 6 more acts will compete live in the Kristianstad Arena, and here they are. We have Patrick Jean with Dusk Till Dawn, Korslagda with King of Rock and Roll, Amelia Pantich with Ingensing, Melfest regulars Medina are back for another shot with Viva l'Amour. They previously were the runners-up, with Kesara back in 2024 losing to Marcus and Martinez. We also have Eva Gematai 8 with Selfish, and Saga Ludvigsson, who competed in Melfest last year. With this year, she's back with 8 today. But we'll find out who makes it to the final and who goes to Final Kvalet and who goes home this Saturday at 8 p.m. Central European Time on SVT and SVT Play. Whilst the Winter Olympic flame keeps on burning in Milan Cortina over in Italy, the Eurovision train keeps on rolling across the continent. And as well as Latvia, Lithuania and Sweden, as mentioned moments ago, we do have a few more countries getting involved this week. In fact, this Saturday is going to be quite a busy one with 5 countries in play. You could call this one a Super Saturday. That is when there are multiple national selections airing all at once, normally 5 or more countries. And that rings true for this Saturday, because with 5 countries selecting their entries on Valentine's Day. One of those countries is Estonia, who came third in last year's Eurovision Song Contest with Tommy Cash. They're staging their national selection, Estilau, this looming weekend. They used to do 2 semi-finals, but last year, due to financial cuts, broadcaster ERR has cut them down to just a single final show. There are 12 acts fighting it out for the Estonia's tickets, the ESC, and here they are in the running order that they'll be performing in, plus my ranking and community rankings. So first we have Klicherik and Max with Jolly Roger, Robert Lina with Mexico's, Greta Paya with Tivers Yaules, Laura Pritz with Warrior, Uliana with Rhythm of Nature, Ollie with Slave, who is back for, I believe, his 3rd attempt at representing Estonia, having competed in Estilau in 2023 and 2024. But losing out to Aleka and Vis Minus Pulup in those respective years. We have Marta Picani with Kalkus, Noep with Days Like This, Geta Jani with The Game. Geta represented Estonia back in 2011 with Rockefeller Street. Ant and Minimal Wind competed in Estilau last year, but now they're joining forces with the song Wounds Don't Wanna Fall. Then you have Vanilla Ninja, who represented Switzerland in 2005 with Cool Vibes, and now they're trying to represent Estonia with Too Epic to Be True. And then finally, the Stockholm Cowboys. This is Stig Rasta, who represented Estonia alongside Alina Born in 2015 with Goodbye to Yesterday, and Victor Krone, who flown the Estonian flag in 2019 with Storm. They're joining forces with their song Last Man Standing. What did I make of the songs? Well, I'm going to let you know my community ranking this instant. Got it right here. So in 12th, I had Stockholm Cowboys. In 11th, Anti-Minimal Wind. My 10th was Marta Picani. Uliana was 9th. Greta Paya was 8th. Laura Pritz 7th. Vanilla Ninja 6th. Klicherik and Max 5th. Robert Lina 4th. Getajani was 3rd for me, Noep 2nd, and I put Ollie as my number 1. And if I grab the community rankings, the fandom community on my Eurovision scoreboard seems to agree with me. But let's just go, but we'll just run down the top 5. 5th is the Stockholm Cowboys with 16,390 points. Answer Minimal Wind 4th is 17,153. Getajani 3rd with 19,252. Greta Paya 20,661 a second. And Ollie, it has 23,826 points, putting him number 1 in the My Eurovision Scoreboard community ranking. Now, as always, a 50-50 split between the jury and public voters used, but Estilau is one of those few national selections that uses a super final, an additional round that sees the top voted acts face a second vote. In Estilau, the top 3 acts in the initial round perform again, and that super final is 100% public vote only. So the viewers alone decide the eventual final outcome. But for the first time ever, international public voting will be used in both rounds, giving viewers around the world a chance to have a hand in deciding the results. Viewers can vote up to 20 times per round by going to estilau.vote, and you'll be able to help your favourite get that Estonian ticket to Vienna. But who will represent Estonia? Find out this Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Central European Time on ETV and on the Eurovision YouTube channel. Denmark is another country that will be choosing their act on Saturday night, and another country that deploys a super final in their national selection. That selection being Dansk Melodi Grand Prix. 8 acts competing for the Danish ticket to Austria, and like with Estonia, there is a 3-act super final. But in DMGP, both the initial round and the super final are settled by the public and jury votes. Personal ranking and community ranking coming up after a look at the acts competing, again in running order. So we have Sander Sanchez with 2 Spirits, Late Runner with Can You Feel It, Soren Torpgaard Lund with Forvil Garhem, and now a familiar face, Sisal, yes, Sisal, who represented Denmark last year with Hallucination and brought them back into the final. Well, guess what? She's back, this time with Infinity. Can she make back-to-back appearances at the Eurovision Song Contest? We'll see. We also have Emil Otto with Copenhagen Noir, Merkur with Touch My Love and Die, Lasse Skriver with Warring Hearts, and Erica Jane with Death of Me. My ranking of the songs as follows. Erica Jane is my 8th place. Then Lasse Skriver in 7th, Emil Otto 6th, Sisal 5th, Merkur 4th, Late Runner 3rd, Sander Sanchez 2nd, and my top pick in Denmark is Soren Torpgaard Lund. The community ranking has this following report. Late Runner is 8th with 12,659 points. Lasse Skriver 7th, 13,848. Emil Otto is 16,694. In 6th, Sander Sanchez, 19,550. Merkur, 19,695. And the top 3, Soren Torpgaard Lund with 25,489. Erica Jane, 25,781 points in 2nd. And Sisal tops the ranking with 29,029 points. Tune in to DR1 at 8 p.m. Central European Time this Saturday for Dansk Melodi Grand Prix and to see Denmark select for Eurovision. It's not just Saturday that's going to be busy with Eurovision selections. Entries will be selected on Sunday too, as Croatia and Greece select for Vienna. But there are semi-finals dotted across the next couple of weekdays first. And after a well-received first edition of Ethnikos Telecos last year, Greece are back in national final mode, but this time it's expanded with 2 semi-finals, along with the grand final, and under the new name Sing for Greece. 28 acts are hoping to sing for Greece this May, and I'll run that down the list now before the rankings. We've got Akilas with Ferto, Alexandra City with The Other Side, Basilica with Set Everything on Fire, Delta with Mad About It, Desi G with Aphrodite, Dynamis with Chaos, Evangelia with Pareia, Garvin with Back in the Game, Good Job Nikki with Dark Side of the Moon, Kiana with No More Drama, Cosa Mostra with Bulletproof, Leroy brought Flowers with Sabotage, Marika with Daughters of the Sun, Marceau with Hanamai, Mickey with Labyrinth, Nia with Slipping Away, Panagiotis Sakalakos with Second Chance, Reverie with The Songwriter, Ricky with Agape, Wazana Malan with Alma, Sfeya with Ilya Komatia, Steffi with Europa, Stella K with You Are the Fire, Stalianos with You and I, the Astrolab with Drop It, Tianora with Anatello, Victoria Anastasia with What You Doing to Me, and Zaf with Asteo. 3 familiar faces there. Only Dynamis and Evangelia, a very popular singer in the Greek music industry and competed in last year's selection with Vale. We also got Koza Mushra, who represented Greece back in 2013, if I'm right in thinking, with Alcohol is Free. Those 24 acts have been split into two semi-finals, 14 forming in semi-final 1 and the other 14 forming in semi-final 2. 100% public votes only for the semi-finals, with 7 acts from each semi-final qualifying for Sunday's final, where the final results will be determined by a mix of 25% Greek juries, 25% international juries, so 50% juries in total, and 50% public votes. On the subject of the public votes, Sing for Greece will use international public voting, same with Estonia. So viewers across the world will have a say. Now, in fact, semi-final 1 already took place last night. We have our first 7 finalists there. But before I run it down, I'll just share quickly my ranking of the Greek contenders and the community rankings. Now, I'm not going to do all 28. I'll be here for weeks. So I'll just do my top 10. So my 10th place was Garvin. My 9th place was Mickey. 8th was Marika. The Astrolab 7th. Kiana 6th. So that's 1 to E for 5 points. Then 6 points to Good Job Nikki in 5th. Ricky 4th with 7 points. And my top 3, Leroy brought 5 as an 8th. Kozum Moshe 2nd with 10 points. And Akilas was my top pick, getting my 12 points. The community rankings top 5 is as follows. Good Job Nikki, 9,062 points in 5th. Marceau, 9,396 points in 4th. Dynamis, 10,230 in 3rd place. Aquilas has 15,400 points. And Evangelia tops the community ranking with 16,385 points on my Eurovision scoreboard. But as I say, we've already had our first semi-final just last night. And 7 finalists qualified. And those finalists, those acts were Alexandra Siti, Aquilas, Evangelia, Marceau, Rosanna Malin, Steffi and Stalianos. So those 7 acts have qualified for the final on Sunday night. And those finalists then drew lots to decide their performance slots. And here they... Oh, if I could locate it. There we are. This was the draw for the first semi-final qualifiers. So Stalianos has drawn slot number 1. Marceau, slot 5. Steffi, slot 8. Rosanna Malin, 9. Evangelia, 10. Aquilas, 12. And Alexandra Siti, 14th. So already we know who's going to be opening the show and who's going to be closing the show on Sunday, since there are 14 acts in the final. So we've had the first semi-final, which saw Alexandra Siti, Aquilas, Evangelia, Marceau, Rosanna Mylan, Steffi and Stalianos go through. I mean, the Astrolab, Desigi, Panagiotis, Sakalakos, Nia, Reverie, Dynamis, and Sveya being eliminated. Many fans will be shocked to see Dynamis fall at this hurdle, especially since they were 3rd in the community rankings. Now, we move to semi-final 2, where competing in that one are Ricky, Garvin, Mikay, Marika, Delta, Zaf, Kiana, Stella K, Tianora, Victoria Anastasia, Basilica, Good Job Nikki, Kozamoshra, and Leroy brought flowers. ERT1, ERT World, and ERT Flix is where you'll be able to watch both semi-final 2 and the Sunday final, starting at 8 p.m. Central European time. Assuming we don't have any problems with the live stream, because there was many fans were trying to watch Sing for Greece last night and encountered big problems with the live stream cutting out at various points during the evening. So hopefully we won't have any problems for semi-final 2 and Sunday final. Over to Croatia, who will be selecting their entry via their national selection, Dora. Just like Greece, Croatia will be whittling the field across the next 48 hours with semi-finals. 24 acts competing, with 12 competing in semi-final 1 take place tonight, leaving the other 12 performing in semi-final 2 tomorrow night. From those semi-finals, 8 acts will qualify for the 16-song final on Sunday, and the semi-final qualifiers will be decided solely by the Croatian public. In the final, the results will be determined by said Croatian public, carrying 50%, along with a mix of regional juries across Croatia and international juries across Europe, 25% each for another 50% from the juries. And here are the acts competing. We had Ellen Duras with From Ashes to Flame, Ananda with Dora, Cold Snap with Mucho Macho, Devin with Over Me, Emma Bubic with Vriemi Zanas, Fenska with Memento Mori, Fran Yaselini with Ako Boya Buddha Sutra. Apologies for the mispronunciations. My Croatian is dry. Gabriel Ivic with Lights Up. Irma with Nitraga. Ivan Seva with Crying Eyes. Jasmina Makota with Higher. Kanzia with Ujuro. Lana Mandaric with Tama. Lara Demarin with Mantra. Lelek with Andromeda. Lima Len with Maketa, Marco Kutlich with Neo Tudivo, Noel with Uninterrupted, Witam Noir with Profumi de Mer, Sergey with Scream, Stella Wade with Nemate, Tomar with Ladina, Tony Sky with One, and Zevin with My Mind. Now, a few familiar faces from last year's Dora. Ananda, Fenska, and Lelek were among the acts in last year's Dora. Here's my ranking. I'll just do the top 10 just to save time. So my 1 point went to Fran Uxellini. 9th was Sergey. Jasmina Makoto was my 8th. Irma 7th. Tony Sky 6th. Emma Bubic in 5th. Lana Mandaric was my 4th. Witam Noir was my 3rd. Kanzia was 2nd for me. And I've placed Noel at the top of my personal chart. But the community ranking has this top 5 on my Eurovision scoreboard. Lara Demarin was 5th with 9,281. Lana Mandaric, 10,182 in 4th. Zevin 3rd with 11,687. Ananda, 13,403 points a second. And the act topping the community ranking in my Eurovision scoreboard for Dora, and by quite a distance, is Lelek, with 18,381 points. In semi-final 1 taking place tonight, we have Lima Len, Jasmina Makota, Ananda, Tony Sky, Fran Yuselini, Emma Bubic, Noel, Alan Duras, Frankska, Cold Snap, Toma, and Lelek. Those are the acts competing in tonight's semi-final, which means Witam Noir, Irma, Gabriel Ivic, Zevin, Ivan Seva, Lara Mandaric, Stella Wade, Devin, Kanzia, Marco Kutlich, Sergey, and Lara Demarin will be performing in semi-final 2 tomorrow night. You can watch all 3 shows tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday on HRT and on the HRT Dora YouTube channel. All 3 shows start at 8:15 p.m. Central European Time. All the shows can be watched on the ESC Plus Live multi-view page and on the ESC Fence Live YouTube channel. That was a lot to cram in, but somehow I managed to get it all in. However, that means I have to say goodbye to you all, but not before I remind you to leave a review and rating in the comments section wherever you get your podcasts. And check out our Instagram page at Euroden_pod. Just before I vanish, you may remember from last time I asked a Eurovision question that appeared during an episode of Limitless Win a few weeks back. The question was, in ABBA's competing performance of Waterloo at the 1974 Eurovision Song Contest, how many times did they sing the word Waterloo? So the correct answer, or the exact answer, is in fact 14 times. Alright, that really is all I have time for today. So enjoy all the shows this week, and we'll talk about the results next time. Hopefully I will not catch any nasty illnesses between now and when all the shows have concluded. Anyway, the next episode will come with all the results. Until then, as they say in Denmark, farvel. Bye for now.